The sea level change and salt dust will give you the information about the sea level change and spread of deserts. Such information is brought in a nutshell, otherwise it's a very big science by itself. Next slide please. And then this is where, see, in Antarctica there is a place called Vostok. It is the coldest place, minus 65 degrees centigrade. And there the Russian scientists have drilled about 3.6 kilometers of ice. That gave you the information for about 400,000 thousands of years of carbon dioxide and several other information. Next slide please. And how do you know that the climate is changing, global warming? See, about 90 years back, this is the Argentina Uppsala glacier. About 90 years back, you see a lot of ice. And today, about a few years back, you see instead of ice, there is a lake there. There is grass. So there is a drastic change. Next slide, please. Another example is from Alaska. About 100 years back, you have a lot of snow, whereas a few years back, instead of snow, you have a lake. Next slide, please. Even in Himalayas, see, for example, up to my friend Bist from Gerwal, Himalaya, is working on this problem. The snow was here up to 1984. Then up to here, 1987. Today it is around somewhere here, 2010. So after a few years, it will vanish. So that is the kind of situation today. Next slide, please. And there has been a definite increase in the frequency of extreme events like floods, heat waves, cyclones, etc. And there is enough example actually. This is taken from science. Since 1985, the number of large wildfires in western US, maybe it is California, maybe it is Arizona, the wildfires have increased fourfold the last 25 years. Next slide, please. Yeah, next slide. Yeah, even the ice in Arctic is called the refrigerator of the planet because the sun's rays come and fall because it's all white there and get easily reflected back. But today the ice is vanishing, so it is the scenario of 7980. And it is the scenario a few years back. So you can see yourself. These are all satellite pictures. Satellite won't tell a lie and send wrong information. Next slide, please. And recently, Time magazine, this is a world famous magazine, has come out with a special effect on a special, issue on the global warming. See, raising sea levels, increase in extreme events, and increase in the occurrence of fires, increase in drought situation, melting of polar ice, etc., etc. And the list goes on and goes on. Next slide, please. And even if another 1.5 degrees, already about 1 degree increase is there, if it goes with another 1.6 degrees, and in Greenland, you will not have ice. That is the kind of situation. Next slide, please. And there is an estimate that by 2050, means another 40 years, the temperature could rise by 3 degrees centigrade. Next slide, please. And there is another danger. In addition to carbon dioxide, methane is in fact a very, very potent greenhouse gas. It can increase the temperature like anything. In fact, today in the sea, in the oceans, now you have millions and millions of tons of gas hydrate. Gas hydrate is nothing but a methane molecule surrounded by water molecules. And it will look like this, and if you lit, it will burn because it's methane. It's a huge resource, in fact. But today, under the temperature pressure conditions, it is stable in the oceans. Supposing if the temperature goes up, it becomes unstable and it escapes from the ocean. And what kind of a scenario it can create, we don't know. Next slide, please. Already, there has been some research. If you go nearer the cracks in Arctic and look at the concentration of methane, it looks that the methane concentration is increasing. Means some kind of a situation is slowly coming up. Next slide, please. And I also told you about 25 to 30% of the carbon dioxide is absorbed by oceans. How they do it? See, in oceans you have a tiny free-floating algae, tiny millions trillions and trillions of, they make photosynthesis by using carbon dioxide available and sunlight. And they means that way a lot of carbon dioxide, millions and millions of tons of carbon dioxide will be taken away by these tiny plants all over the planet. And then they are all eaten away by zooplankton, the small tiny marine animals. And when the zooplanktons die, it will go down. Means like that the carbon dioxide is transported to the surface of the ocean. So this is called biological carbon pump. Next slide, please. And if it happens too much, if you increase the concentration in the environment, now 1/3 of it will go into the oceans. So as a result, oceans are taking too much of carbon dioxide. So as a result, the pH is coming down. So if the pH comes down, you see, in 1750, the pH was 8.5. About a couple of years back, 7.7. The pH is coming down. Under the lower pH conditions, some of the organisms will vanish. They cannot survive. So that will lead to another problem. Next slide, please. So the ice bodies are melting. So the water is adding up. As a result, the sea levels are rising. And 40% is contributed by the ice, but 60% comes from, because when you know very well, when any matter is heated up, it will expand. Water is also no exception. It will also expand. So 60% is contributed from the expansion and 40% from the icebergs. So as a result, the levels of oceans are rising up. Next slide, please. And few months back, Dr. Shailesh Naik, who is the Secretary of Ministry of Earth Sciences, he was giving a lecture at NGR, our institute. According to him, the Indian Ocean sea level rise during 2004 to 2005, just 4 years, there was a rise of about 9 mm, about 1 centimeter. So, next slide, please. This will create a problem. See, after some time, there is a nation called Maldives, you know very well. And Maldives is in a danger of disappearing below the waves, beneath the waves. So with an average height of around 1.8 meters above the sea level, Maldives is the lowest nation on earth. So which means if the sea level continues to rise, Maldives will be the first nation to be inundated, submerged. Next slide, please. And some people believe that because of the climate change and the global warming, the frequency of earthquakes can become, or extreme events, earthquakes, maybe tsunamis, the frequency can become more. So, see, think of a situation like Arctic and Antarctic. See, there is a fault and lava is trying to come up, but there is a ice of thickness of about 3-4 kilometers. So as a result, because of the weight of the ice, it cannot be active. Once the ice is gone means, so it becomes active. So as a result, because of the global warming, the earthquakes, the frequency of earthquakes, volcanic eruptions can become more. Next slide, please. Recently, there was an article in Scientific American. The global warming may cause an increase in volcanic eruption due to increase in magma formation at lower pressure as glaciers are melting. Next slide, please. In fact, I have made a literature survey. I have taken the 10 biggest earthquakes in the history, spanning up to about 106 years, from 1906 to 2012, 106 years. 106 years, there are actually 10 biggest earthquakes, but out of 10, 4 happened only a few years back, 2008 onwards, 2004 onwards, 8 years back. In the 80s,